Our app is WiskIt by Samava, Finney, and Paul.
So our WiskIt offers a wide variety of recipes with step-by-step instructions and ingredient lists. It allows users to filter for recipes based on ingredients they already have in their pantry. If they want to save something and bookmark it, they want to recreate it later on, they can also do that because we also use like a login thing. So if they log out and log back in, everything they saved and create their own recipes, for example, it's always going to be saved.
So our 50% completion goals were to finish all our research on Firebase and APIs, and also to create 6 functioning screens, which were the login page, the home screen, the saved recipes, ingredient screen, available recipe screen, and the create recipe screen, and then implement API and the Firebase into these screens.
So this is our video for our app. This is the login page. You can log in using Google. So the categories are like main dish, dessert, sides, beverages, and you can click on the recipes and find their ingredients and the steps on how to create it. You can also search the recipes up on what you want. You can save and unsave it. So once you bookmark it, you're going to see later on that it gets saved to another page. So these are some random recipes that you will have in your home screen. And if you click on the refresh button, it gives you a whole new set of recipes too. So this is the pantry. So whatever you have in your pantry, you can click. It's going to generate random recipes. And then once you go back, everything you clicked is going to be saved there. So next is the saved recipes screen. So this is everything that you bookmarked. And if you want to unbookmark it, you can just simply click it and it's going to go away. So remember that the pasta with the chicken broccoli is still there, so it's going to be important for later. This is the create recipe screen. We just wanted to make sure that you could still type in there, and the second half of that is later. So you can log out, and then once you log back in, whatever you saved in this screen is going to be there. So the pasta is still there.
So our first code feature was the Spinacular API. In our first code snippet, we used axios.create to simplify our API calls. And what it does is it attaches a base URL and the API key automatically to every request. In the second code snippet, it shows that every object of type recipe has to have an ID, title, image, and it optionally would have a used ingredient count and a missed ingredient count. For our third code snippet, it shows that for all of our API calls, we follow the same pattern. We make a GET request to a specific Spinacular endpoint, pass in any parameters like the search query or a list of ingredients, and then extract the relevant part of the response. And each of our fetch functions is based on this structure. Our second feature was searching, and to make our search more efficient, we implemented debouncing, and it waits 500 milliseconds after the user stops typing before making the API call. And this prevents excessive requests and keeps the app running fast and smooth. In this code snippet, we started by checking if the user has typed anything meaningful into the search bar. If the search query isn't empty or just white space, we would display the search results container. Inside the container, we have a 3-way conditional. If the search loading is true, we show a spanner and a searching message. If we have results, we show them in a scrollable list. And if there are no results, we show a fallback message that includes the user's search item. This code snippet is the actual list of search results, and we map through each recipe and render a card with an image, the title, and a bookmark icon. Tapping the card would open the full recipe, and the bookmark icon switches between filled and unfilled, and it updates in real time with async storage.
So for the fridge ingredients, the users can tap on any ingredients to select or deselect them, and this will update the check state by toggling the check property of the tapped ingredient. This lets us track which ingredients the user wants to use. And then based on those ingredients, they can click the generate recipe screen, which will collect all the selected ingredients and pass it to the available recipe screen. And then based on which recipes contain the most ingredients from their pantry, it'll come up with a list of 10 most relevant recipes. And then if nothing's selected, it'll show an alert reminding the user to pick at least one of the recipes.
So then we have the Firebase. This is another element that we had to research on. So over here in our main app component, we check if a user is logged in by asking Supabase and Firebase for the current session. If there is one, we mark the user as authenticated and store their email. We also listen for any authentication changes, so if the user logs in or logs out, the app updates in real time. We use a loading state to prevent the UI from showing anything until we know the user status. So over here is our handle Google sign-in function. When the user taps the Google login button in the login screen, we call sign in with Google to authenticate them. If it works, we use our router.replace to send them directly to the home screen. If there is an error, we log it in the console. So this provides a secure sign-in experience for the user as well. So this is kind of the color palette. We wanted to go for something very light because we want it to be appetizing because of the fact that we were working with food.
So things we still need to do for the rest of our project are include substitutions for missing ingredients, and then finish the profile screen, the create recipe screen, which we already have part of, but we need to implement a camera feature, and then a list of your recipes that you've created. And we also want to add animation in the profile screen, and then if we have extra time, we'll add a discussion at the end.
And these are some of the works cited things that we used. Thank you.